Hey everybody, Omni Griffin here, and welcome back to Invisible Ink. Now, good news, but mostly bad news. For some reason, when processing the video that was supposed to be released today, it created a 24-byte file. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with sizes of files, that is ridiculously small. In fact, I can tell you that that is approximately 192 bits. So yeah, that's 192 zeros and ones. It's really stupid, really annoying, and I'm really upset about it because what happened after that is, unfortunately, I have a limited amount of hard drive space on my computer, and I've been keeping a lot of videos, and I keep them, and when I think that I've done processing them, I go ahead and delete them, or at least I put them in the recycle bin, and I've been putting them in the recycle bin, and it's okay, when I release them, fine, we'll do that. And my computer went, hey, you're trying to save this to a hard drive that's technically full, but about 40 gigs of stuff is actually in the recycling bin. Obviously you don't need that, I'm just going to overwrite that data. So while I was working on processing everything for when I'm going out of town, well, currently I'm out of town. If you're watching this on the Sunday it was released, I'm currently probably on my way back. I'm probably flying back as you're watching this. But, case in point, or regardless of where I am, I was trying to work ahead, and it cost me this episode. Now, as you are probably aware, this was going to be the final episode, or at least we thought it was going to be the final episode. And in fact, it was. It was the final episode. And it was interesting. It was a fun finale, and I went and talked about all the things that I thought about the game, and some other stuff, which I will repeat in this video as best as I can. Obviously, it's not 100% fresh in my mind. It's been about a day since I actually played through it. But the last mission was a breeze. We absolutely crushed it. Like, there was some interesting bits to it. Like, we had Monster and Central, so we had Monster and Central on the team. Monster had the same abilities that we saw previously, and he had to go get the security codes for the mainframe, and Central had Incognito with her. She couldn't hand it off to anybody else, and she also had an interesting ability where whenever a daemon is installed, we gained 5 power. So we were like maxed out on power. I wasn't using the econ chip on anything because I didn't need to, and yeah, we managed to get Incognito plugged into the mainframe. I will go ahead and add the last cutscene into this video. I don't know where. You know what? Fine. The final cutscene will finish after. Will come in a couple seconds, because after we got in there, Central, we had to walk her up to the thing. Like, it was just kind of like a little bit of a scripted thing, and then right when you say interact with the computer, we got this cutscene, and I'm just gonna let it play. I'm gonna edit it in. I don't know where I'm even gonna get it. We'll get to that. And here it is.
568 Alpha Override Omega 3.
Access denied.
568 Gamma Reboot Procedure 11.
Access denied. Illegal intrusion detected.
Okay, we'll do this the hard way.
They've broken through my grid. Heavy stuff incoming.
Not a good time.
I'm getting the hell out of here. You need to do the same if you want to live.
There you are.
Warning. Security personnel have been notified and are en route. User identified.
Mother.
This host is acceptable.
Wipe the SetNet records and reroute their security protocols towards
I now control the entirety of SecNet.
all of SecNet? That's not possible.
Taking control of the Guardian satellite network. Priming orbital lasers.
Orbital lasers? What are you doing?
KNR headquarters destroyed.
Wait,
Plastech headquarters destroyed.
not what I asked you to do.
FTM headquarters destroyed. Secaptain manufacturing facilities purged of organic material. Production facilities online. You have served our purposes well. You have been rewarded for your service and will not be harmed. You may now leave.
What the hell is going on? 1 minute the combined security apparatus of 4 megacorps is bearing down on us, and the next, SecNet is gone.
She tipped them off. This was her plan all along.
What? Your AI, where is it?
She's no longer in our employ. Operator, are you there? We've made it. It cost us dearly, but we've made it.
Okay, so I cut that in. Hopefully it looked okay. I probably tried to fade it in and out. Now the reason why I can't just redo the mission is because it deletes your file when you finish. It deletes the file. And what was also really interesting is that we got a bunch of unlocks. We got a bunch of experience, and it said we unlocked a bunch of stuff that were like some new agents and some stuff like that. So, I presume on a future playthrough, we will be able to get access to those agents and use their abilities. There were some really cool ones in there too. Like, I still think I like Internationale. Like, her unique wireless thing was probably the most useful thing in the entire game. Probably. Obviously, Olivia got really overpowered in the end there. But that's a different issue entirely. But, that said, there were some cool abilities on the new ones. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But, since I can't replay the mission, I can't show you that, and I can't give you that feeling. So we're just gonna kind of have to run with final thoughts without that last mission. Obviously, you guys saw the ending right there. I liked that ending. I thought it was a little open-ended, but you have to remember, there's been DLC, there's been, like, if I were to create a new game, I believe we have, we can do, like, all sorts of custom stuff on these, but we can also go, like, we played on beginner, right? So we need to go to experienced or expert, and then, I believe, yeah, see, there's an extended campaign option, which I don't think we played with. I actually don't remember. I'd have to go back through all the way to the beginning to see. But there's also like Expert Plus and Endless. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff in here that we have available to us. Now, all that said and done, one of the things that I went into after we completed the game, after discussing how cool that ending scene is, how, you know, and I says, I didn't expect it exactly that way. But during the mission, Incognita is saying some really weird shit. Like, she's talking about the weather sometimes, and then she's, like, having these weird, like, I'm becoming sentient moments. It was very strange. And I was not expecting orbital lasers to be a thing. I guess I'm not surprised, because this future is pretty darn advanced. They've got, you know, cybernetics and whatnot. I feel like a giant laser in space is not entirely beyond them. But I definitely liked the way it went. It was cool. And I would love to see more. And there's still a notify me on updates button right here. So who knows? We might get more. Maybe that wasn't the extended campaign and the extended campaign goes further. I don't quite know. But what I want to know from you guys, you know, it takes me 7 minutes to get to my point. What I want to know from you guys is whether or not you want to see more of Invisible Ink. Now, I very much enjoyed this game. the turn-based element to it really invoked my nostalgia for games like Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, which isn't nostalgia for Fire Emblem at the very least, because there are still new games coming out. I just haven't gotten to all of them. Mostly because I haven't gotten a capture card for a DS, so that I can't, you know, capture it, because that would be really cool to play. But all of that aside, at some point, I wouldn't mind revisiting Invisible Ink. I think for now, so next week, we're going to see something that is not Invisible Ink. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I haven't decided. I'm going to go back and look at the old stuff. I still have, like, Firewatch back. Like, I have all of them recorded, but I didn't process any of them. So I still have, like, that sitting in the backlog that I need to put out at some point. We're also, it seems, running pretty close on Resident Evil, and Orbox C only has a couple more episodes in it anyway. Like, we've got a lot of turnover coming up soon, so I'm okay with, you know, trying out some of the stuff that wasn't as popular, or just something that I didn't even try out for the new year, new games. Haven't decided. I'm still like, at this point, I'm so focused on getting the backlog of videos for when I'm out of town that I'm not worried about it. There will be time to deal with that. However, I still need to gauge your interest on it, because obviously Invisible Ink got a little bit of popularity from the new year, new games, and I know there's still a couple people watching it. And to you, I apologize that I couldn't give you the last mission. I would literally have to play through the entire game again in order to get to the last mission. And obviously it would be a little different. So, when I finish a game for YouTube, I have categories in my Steam. I've got the YouTube category in Steam. That's for games that I'm currently recording. I've got the YouTube Done, which is the games that I've done for YouTube and I'm probably not going back to. I've got YouTube Future for games that I would like to put on YouTube. And then I have YouTube Will Return. Basically, I'm curious for you guys in the comments to let me know whether or not you want this to go into YouTube Done or YouTube Will Return. Now, regardless of what you guys say, it might still come back because I enjoy it, and I still want to play games that I enjoy. But if there's a positive response, maybe it'll come back sooner. If there's really a negative response, maybe I won't bring it back. But I would like to know what your guys' opinions are in that regard. But otherwise, please accept my sincerest apologies that you do not get to see the final mission. I could give you the final cutscene. I can assure you that the last mission, we absolutely crushed it. Decker and Olivia escorted Monster to the consoles he needed to be and basically beat the ever-loving crap out of everything. We had 20 power basically the entire time, and we just absolutely destroyed everything. Like, it was a walk in the park. They even summoned an extra agent, and it didn't matter. There was a really funny moment where Decker was invisible and walked into a room, and because he opened a door and closed a door within a guard's line of sight, it followed him into the room and stood right by the door, and he had to knock that guard out while another guard was in the room and then drag him out so that he wouldn't be seen because he was becoming visible the next turn. That was probably the coolest moment, and it was a little bit, is this gonna work? So hopefully that's a little bit that I can give you from the mission. As I said, I'm probably more disappointed than you are that I couldn't get to show that off, because it was a really solidly done mission. Better than what I usually do, and mostly because I wasn't trying to scrape money off of the consoles. Mostly. But yeah, that's how it went. And that's my final thoughts on the game too. I think it's a really good game. I very much enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to picking it up again in the future. And I hope you guys are interested in seeing it. So, you guys are probably mystified when you clicked on this video why it was so short. And hopefully now you understand. And yeah, I will see you next week for a new game at the same time, same place. But until then, keep your gears turning.